evening and welcome. My name is Kerry Oriot and I'm the moderator of this evening's Brandon School Division Trustee Election Forum. Tonight's event is co-sponsored and brought to you by the Brandon Sun and Westman Communications. In fact, it's being broadcast live throughout our community on Access 12 this evening. I further understand that Westman Communications will be broadcasting it repeatedly in the coming days. The Brandon Sun will also be reporting on the forum tomorrow and will have it for viewing on the website brandonsun.com. Tonight's forum is featuring the candidates running for the position of Brandon School Division Trustee. Each of the 18 candidates tonight will have approximately 1 minute in which to introduce themselves. Following this, we will then begin questioning the various candidates. How, you may ask yourself, given the sheer numbers, will we be able to proceed in an orderly manner? We've come up with what we believe to be a fair approach that will provide each candidate with an opportunity to express themselves on important issues. Our panelists this evening, Devon Ross from the Brandon Sun, John Loreggio from CKLQ News, and Allison Dowd from the Brandon Sun. They are going to be asking the questions. They're not the only ones who will participate in the questioning, for you each will have an opportunity here tonight to provide questions to Awen Powell and James O'Connor of the Brandon Sun. They will then review them and if deemed appropriate will be passed to our questioners for direction to the candidates. Each of our panelists will direct a question to as many as 5 candidates. This will be done at the time that the question is asked. The candidates will then answer them to the best of their ability, and we will of course notify them of expiry time through the use of yellow and red cards. They will have 15 seconds at what point they will receive the yellow card, and at 30 seconds, if their answer is not complete, that's unfortunate because that's a red card. Now here's where it gets interesting. Our panelists, myself, retain the right to follow up if we feel we just aren't getting enough information from any of the candidates. This may happen on every question, this may not happen at all. We don't know, and this is what will make this evening, I think, educational and certainly informative. So with that, let us begin tonight's forum with the candidate introductions. Each of them will have a minute to introduce themselves to all the people here tonight and the thousands of people watching at home. We're going to be running from my extreme right through the top row, then we will follow from the extreme right on the bottom row through to the left. At the end of the evening, the candidates individually will also have 30 seconds to wrap up. And with that, let's begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Moderator, panel members, fellow candidates, good evening. My name is Michael Barrett, and I'm seeking election for your local school board. I'm married and have 2 children, grades 3 and 5 in the Brandon School Division. I'm a realtor, and I'm currently on the executive of the Brandon Real Estate Board. I believe the shape of our country and the standard of living in the future relies on the education we provide for our children today. Education standards are rising in many countries, and it is increasingly important to maintain and raise our standards to ensure future competitiveness and maintain the status quo. We are challenged to do this by making the best use of the resources, and we cannot consider the taxpayers an endless source of income. I also believe decisions should be made with equal consideration to and consultation with all affected parties. I feel strongly that transparency and communication are critical to developing and fostering relations between the board and those it serves. I hope to be elected on October 27th and look forward to working effectively with the next school board in shaping our local education system.
Thank you very much. They are. Yes. Next up.
Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, new candidates and colleagues on the current board. After 1 term in office, I'm eager to continue the good work we have begun, and I'm especially eager for my first opportunity of working on the Finance Committee. As a father of 5 children, 4 of whom have graduated from Brandon School Division, and the 5th will as well in 7 years, I have personal passion for the excellence in education that our schools provide. Education has been and continues to be my life. I'm a graduate of Brandon University with 2 degrees, one in educational administration. I very much want our students ready for university, college, employment, and the community in which they choose to live. I was an educator in Brandon School Division for 32 years. I learned that educational needs change dramatically over time, and we have an obligation to meet those needs in a timely and responsible manner. I've done my part in supporting those changes that came to the table. Outstanding changes, such as the Neelan Off-Campus High School, the Crocus Plains Nursery, the Finding My Way Initiative, the new Environmental Sciences Program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bartlett. You will have an opportunity throughout this evening event, as well as your 30 seconds at the end, to reiterate, and a question was asked by one of the candidates, at 45 seconds,
was that 1 minute?
goes up. Pardon me?
Was that 1 minute?
It was. You did great. At 45 seconds, the yellow card will go up. At 1 minute, the red goes up. Thank you very much. Our next candidate is Oris Bobe.
Hi, my name is Oris Bobby. I'm running for school trustee. I ran in 1998. I didn't win. But I had been talking to my neighbors about running for school board, and then I changed my mind. And they all came back to me and said, no, we'd like to see you run. Some of them are teachers in the school system. Some are parents of children that are in the school system. I myself spent 8 years in Winnipeg. I lived in Tyndall Park. We had a community school. And the community, I spent 2 years as vice chairman, 6 years as chairman. I worked with the superintendent of schools, with the school board, and also with the teachers, the principal. And I'm asking people to vote for me for school trustee.
Thank you very much. On to the next candidate, please.
Good evening, Mr. Moderator, panelists, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow candidates. My name is Pat Boslaw, and many will know me from my mission of portraying my interest in children and their education. I have been a part of the Brandon School Division for many years as a teacher, as a principal, and I see Jerry Barnes back there who would vouch for me that I've always balanced my budget, as well as I now do occasional teaching at Brandon University as an assistant professor. Some people will probably wonder why I would still be interested, and I've already alluded to that children are extremely important to me, and I do have 7 nieces, nephews, and grandchildren in the school system. I mentioned my experience. I believe that in making decisions at the school system level, we have to be collaborative.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bury?
My name is George Bury. I sincerely believe that nothing is more important than the education of our children. I realized the importance of education as a teenager when I was kicked out of high school. I soon realized it was almost impossible to advance in society without an education. I went back and have spent basically my whole life in education, with over 35 years public school teaching experience, 7 years university teaching experience, and 4 valuable years on the Brandon School Division Board of Trustees. If elected, I promise to put all my energy into the following. 1, ensure that all students receive the quality education they are entitled to. 2, ensure that we provide students with the resources they need to succeed, the main resource being quality staffing in all areas. 3, to work together with other board members to make policies and decisions that reflect the best interests of the students. 4, to continue with my fellow trustees to lobby government to see Brandon gets its fair share of funding. 5, to improve communication within a division by asking trustees to hold more direct meetings with teachers, principals, division staff, and by holding regular school forums in our schools so parents can give us their feedback. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I apologize, given the sheer number of people and the absolute tremendous amount of interest they have in this position. Unfortunately, we do have to cut people short from time to time. I apologize. Next, that was terrific. Next, we're going to go to Sean Cameron.
Okay. Good evening. I'm honored to share my vision for a school system and a community in transition. I'm a lifelong Brandon resident and a former staff member of the Brandon School Division. Why is it time for change? First, equal representation. My family represents many families prepared to access the system. We are the future tax base supplying the division for a number number of years. We are vested in schooling with a long-term vision, a 20-year vision, a proactive vision. Second, we require greater public transparency. Stakeholders should have access to public decisions in an innovative manner. Past decisions have been made and implemented with the public left wondering about choices and their effect. We must be persistent and open to a philosophical shift here. Finally, we must be prepared. We must be responsible and ensure that the frontline staff in our division are equipped for a changing future. Remember, we are all educators in this community with a vested interest in the holistic growth of our youth. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Marla Galatuk, and I have lived in the Green Acres neighborhood with my husband Darren Galatuk for the past 11 years. We have 2 young children, as well as our niece, that live with us and attend school at Green Acres in George Fitton. As a parent of young children, I decided that I needed to become more involved in their education as I've watched changes be made to their schools. I truly believe that all children deserve the best education that we as a whole can provide for them, and that we all need to work together in order to provide that best education. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sandra Kogan-Zorik, and I've been in Brandon for the past 7 years, 8 of which I've been involved with the Brandon School Division. My involvement includes being a member of the Parent Division Liaison Committee, the parent councils of my son's schools, Brandon Group Parent Council, the Manitoba Association of Parent Councils, the Division Strategic Planning process, and attending the budget forums. I've promoted advocacy on the behalf of the community, which includes times at the closure of Fleming School and the transfer of Harrison Middle School to Ecole Harrison. I believe you need a school board of trustees who are committed to working together with each other and especially with the community to provide equal and accessible education for all. And if elected, that's what I will strive for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Perfect timing. This concludes our top row. Now we're going to start in bottom row, the extreme right, with Vanessa Hamilton.
Hi, good evening. I am Vanessa Hamilton. I'm 37 years old, wife to Patrick, and a mother of 3 children, Josh, 8, Mackenzie, 10, and Caitlin, 17. Currently, I am a healthy living facilitator with the Brandon RHA. I'm sitting here tonight because I had an opportunity at 18, while single and pregnant with my oldest daughter, to upgrade some high school classes at an alternative high school program, enroll at the University of Saskatchewan when Katie was only 6 months old, and graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition with distinction. I really believe that with all life's challenges and adversities, that when children, in particular children who have not been historically successful, are given an opportunity, they can flourish and thrive and contribute to society in a meaningful way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Jolie?
Good evening. My name is B. Jolie. My reason for running is to continue to make a strong contribution to the quality and value of public education in Brandon. As a senior, I bring a comprehensive background to this role. I assure you that I have the intelligence, energy, enthusiasm, and perseverance to serve this community effectively. My primary concern is to ensure that all children are given the most appropriate education. My long association with education at all levels and my extensive community volunteer work has prepared me for this important responsibility. I support opportunities for parents and community partnerships and for all stakeholders to have input in all important matters and decisions. It is important to provide ample professional time for all staff in order for them to be knowledgeable about new research and teaching strategies. I would work with all levels of government for sustainable funding